2. Well, actually, we've got to wait a bit before the stream catches up, but introduce yourselves.
Hello, this is Como speaking. Welcome to 5e D&D.
And Belmore.
And I'm Bill Moore, playing as Catman Shaky.
And what are the two of you doing? What are the revelations so far? The revelatons.
I have prevented the river pollution of a small town, and we have so far been pointed towards a former camp populated by mages last time I heard about it.
That's about right.
How far away was the camp?
The camp, so Wellspring was around a day's walk. This one is more than a day away. You're going to have to make camp halfway through.
Yep.
Is it safe for us to make camp in this territory?
It's mostly swampy woodlands, so making camp would be a bit of a caution, a bit of a dangerous thing.
I guess we can just sleep in the trees.
Yep.
I mean, that's up to you how you want to handle it. You're also going off-road, so it might take a bit longer, but other than that... So, you wake up, you had your night's sleep at the orc soon-to-be city, and it is up to you to make decisions, not up to me.
Indeed. So, Shady, should we head out to the camp, or should we just ignore that and proceed somewhere else at our own pace?
Well, I don't really have anything planned, so we might as well. And if there's anything nice and shiny there, it's our spot, ours to take.
Okay. So, by what hex are you planning to travel there? The one to the southwest or the one to the south?
To the south.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you set off out of the camp, which is, and eventually reach the swampier area, because the camp slash town is on the edge of it, because they need all the space, and clearing out swamplands is very difficult to do. Soon enough, you're in the trees, you're in the murky lands. You still see like animal corpses tainted by the ash, because that stuff hasn't worn out yet. That's going to take a while to properly seep out of the system.
All right. Can we still find some small game and berries and whatever to keep us fed?
Well, small game is going to be difficult because most small animals are very easily affected by such concentrations. But there's also like other water sources there, so there's some small game, but less than usual. And there's plenty of like trees that are unaffected because they don't necessarily get their water out of the river.
Nice.
Like there's probably going to be a period of time where the animals die off and then the ash seeps into the ground, but for now it seems okay.
All right. So yeah, while we're traveling, I'm keeping an eye out for food and water.
Excellent. Roll me survival.
Really?
It's tough living out here. It's tough living. Yeah, I mean it's a swampland. You might not have experience with swamplands, or maybe it's just a very bad day. Maybe your path just didn't lead past anything. The point is, you ended up finding enough for a meager meal, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Like in 5e, the complications for not having sufficient food is that you don't get your health back, but that's not really a concern right now.
We are at full currently, yes.
Yep. You're A-okay.
Yep.
You're just going to have to make do with it. So as you stop partway through, I want you to roll me a perception check.
Yeah.
So even through the thick foliage above you, you can see that there are large, like, clouds gathering, dark, stormy clouds with multicolored lightning bolts flashing between them.
Well,
Is
that's
this in any way similar to what we had before?
What do you mean?
When we were dealing with a Ash Orc.
It resembles it, but it doesn't feel as, like, concentrated and focused. It feels more natural.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Can we go around it?
Oh no, it's directly above you. Like, this storm is slowly moving over you. The
Ah,
trees are absorbing much of it, but there's, like, sand starting to fill the air.
okay. Let's set up some kind of makeshift shelter.
How do you intend to do that?
Ooh. Yeah, stuff that I have.
If you didn't bring a tarp, you'll have to improvise.
uh, did, did you bring a top or anything like that, Boyga?
Repeat again?
Did you bring a tarp?
Or tent or anything like that?
Should have something, but I don't suppose there's anything that's gonna deal with a storm of that proportion.
Well, as I said, the trees are absorbing much of the wind, but you'd still rather not get buffeted by sand.
Well, we're probably gonna have to put like a few stones in the corners.
But do you have a tarp?
I should. Let's see. Unless it's an informed thing. Nope.
Hmm.
Considering that
Eh.
you are out on the road and we're in a city, you can both roll me a luck check to see if you happen to have some sort of, like, cover. So roll me a d20. You can add your wisdom to this one. So just roll me a wisdom check.
How do I roll a wisdom?
You can just click. I think you can just
Oh.
click your wisdom. No, that's a wisdom save. You want to click, like, your wisdom on the left.
Oh,
There we go.
I didn't realize.
So Como had the common sense to bring a large waterproof tarp that he could easily tie down. It's a nice tarp. It's got little rings in the end so that you can tie it up to everything. So
And I
You
had
mo-
the sense of bringing a bunch of parchments you can write stuff on.
you had the common sense to bring a poncho for yourself in case it would rain, but not like a full tarp.
And also a bag containing 47 humanoid teeth, one of which is rotten.
Como gets to add to his sheet a tarp. Anyway,
Where would I put it though?
you don't have to keep track of it. What are you looking for?
Fair enough.
What are you doing?
Like a specific inventory.
Okay. Well, now you're gonna have to do something with this tarp because if you're just gonna hold up a tarp, it's not gonna do much.
Alright.
Don't get sick on us.
What?
Don't get sick on us.
Oh no, I've been sick the past week, so it's only getting better.
Alright.
Isn't Mayo coming back next week?
Maybe I don't
Should
know.
be.
Anyway, you have a tarp.
Alright.
Tie it down to the nearest trees. Just make sure not to make it into a giant sail so that it flies away.
Yep. Write
Roll,
down and anchor it with whatever sharp things we have.
roll me survival or nature.
Can I?
Guess the wind is too strong.
Hmm?
Como might
I-
have bought a tarp, but he's not he's not very experienced with tying it down in the middle of a forest.
Well, I'm stabbing it down with whatever sharp things I have.
Como has some
Knives.
pythons, if I recall correctly, in his adventuring pack.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like 10 pythons, so you can easily you can hammer it down and create a small tent space. You hear the wind picking up outside, and you start to hear
Yep.
very strange noises.
Yeah, I'm hammering down with the pythons and I propping it up with a staff.
Heh. Good for something.
Mm.
You start to hear the trees sway. There's no rain, but there are strange noises. From time to time, you hear little clicks and clacks and drips and drops.
Mm.
Are you going to wait out
Which
the
is
storm or going to peek?
which is weird because there's nothing to clink and clank in the area, or at least there shouldn't be. So yes, I would like to peek.
You
Yep.
very gently open up the outside of the tent, making sure that
Thank
not
you.
much blows in. And you see that the local dirt around you, you're like on the edge of like a 50-foot diameter disc of metal where there was once soil.
Oh,
Okay, we found an UFO,
No, no, this was dirt before.
but
Your
that is a
your
circle of
your
metal.
your pythons are literally now stuck in metal somehow.
um,
You can remove them, but you originally hammered them into dirt, so it's kind of weird.
okay. Will this be a problem if there's going to be lightning?
Well, might
We're
be.
not grounded.
Well,
The electricity or lightning would go through the path of least resistance, and we aren't it.
yeah,
Hmm.
like don't forget you're sitting next to a watertight tarp and a wooden staff, and there's trees all around that are more likely to absorb it.
Yes.
Uh,
Like metal is not magnetic to lightning. It's just that it's, you know. Actually, would it be? I don't know how that works. Now that I think about it. But you're a lot safer than you otherwise would be, because even if the lightning strikes the ground, it would probably just zap off as far as it can before it even comes to you.
hmm. Yeah.
But there
Because
are weirder stuff going on. Like some of the trees are turning to ooze, and strange
ooh,
stones have formed around you. This is not your average ash storm. This is worse.
oh, this is interesting.
Well, at least we're stuck in the middle of a forest and not in the open.
Hmm. Well, unless one of the trees suddenly decides to attack us.
After about an hour of waiting, the storm will ebb away, leaving the tent half covered in all kinds of dust and weird stuff, and your environment has drastically changed from what it originally was.
Uh, our tent hasn't become anything weird.
There's a layer of snow on your tent, but that's it.
Oh.
All snow and dust, so.
Maybe it's ash. What exactly is the climate here? What exactly is the time of the year anyway? Because we forgot to check. Well, at least I didn't specify.
Yeah.
Degree of influence. What do you say? I was looking at that thing you sent.
Yeah, what is the time of year in the current area, and so forth.
Good question. Good question that I don't immediately have an answer to. It's fall, autumn.
Okay.
It's like early fall.
So I guess early October.
Basically.
Snow in October. Is this in any way unusual, or is it just how things are after the
Oh,
collapse?
out here, having snow at all is kind of curious because you're in a relatively warm area.
Hmm.
So having snow here at all is kind of funky. Like, the snow's already melting.
So
Like
it's
without the
anomalous, but it's not. Yeah,
without the storm sustaining it, the snow doesn't seem to stay long.
fair enough.
Yeah, probably just some of the dust being transformed.
Well, which would make sense, but then it would be hail and not snow.
Indeed.
Yeah.
In any case, peculiar and unusual.
Yeah, is what are they called? Hailstorms or
Chaos storms is the name for the more severe dust storm.
Yeah. Are they how common are they?
Chaos storms are quite rare. Usually there's like one per year over an entire continent, and they tend to make long journeys. They're basically like hurricanes.
Alright. This could be an ill portent.
Yeah, especially since it's late in fall, and this area's already had quite a few dust storms over the last few years, the last few months. I mean.
Hmm. Hmm. Something destabilizing the magic weather patterns.
Well, the main reason that ash and dust and chaos storms come into existence is that a lot of the top layer ash gets blown up into the air and starts magically reacting.
Hmm. That hmm.
Some say it's
Okay.
air elementals fucking around, but
Be a lingering side effect of the
of the old world.
ash orc casting ash belt, or there could be more of this kind around.
Mm-hmm.
No, this probably means that there is sufficient enough area without foliage that allowed this amount of dust to raise up.
Well, or someone shot it into the air.
Yes, can we investigate the metal?
What do you wish
plate
to
that we
investigate
can-
about it?
What is it? Or at least what was it original?
What kind of metal is it?
Take a close look, and what would this be? I guess it would be a knowledge, intelligence, nature check. Or investigation, depending on what you have.
I actually have two, but the mage is not here right now.
Same.
Okay, so Como is basically the closest. It looks like steel, like really high-grade steel.
Ooh,
This is the kind of steel you see a noble have.
interesting. Can we pry it off the
Was-
ground?
It's
Um,
probably a little too big.
it's a 50-foot disc.
Mhm.
Oh,
Is it possible for us to mark it in any way to reveal the location, or just sell the location to somebody who actually can manage this, like return to the city and tell them that there is a bunch of metal that they can use?
Roll me a survival check to try and make a quick map of the area.
Could you repeat that? You cut out for
A
a second.
survival check to make a quick map of the area.
Okay.
there's my wonder ability.
Oh yes, your wanderer would actually help here a lot. So you can instantaneously sort of like make a mental map for yourself as to how to do this.
Yep.
Oh, and you
Well,
can
I
also
guess
provide
I'm
food, so you
just-
wouldn't have to roll. Okay. So
I guess
shady.
I'm just not very good with forests.
Trees. They all look the same.
Yes, I'm not an elf. Not a stinking elf.
You're
They
not an
blew
elf,
themselves
no.
up. Yes.
Man, that was a good joke. Not an elf, an elf. Somolo Plateau, people. Go watch it. Escape from Somolo Plateau. It's great. But yes, Shady has a mental map. You could sell this location. Normally, in any other setting, this would probably be like, no one's going to fucking believe you. But since this Chaos Storm was just here, it's probably easier to convince someone this is here. And they'll probably give you some nice money as a finder's fee. Probably not too much, because recovering this is a pain. With that, what's your next move?
Proceed further towards the camp.
Okay.
Yep.
You pack up your turp. You pack up your pythons, which slide out of the ground pretty easily, all things considered. It's a miracle
Is
they
it
held.
like malleable metal? Because we're on top of it.
Oh, it's high-grade steel. Like, you'd need to use
How
magic
did
to
we
melt
manage
it
to
off.
put it in?
You
No,
put it in
because
because you put it in when it was dirt.
Yeah, and it just transformed around them and left
Oh,
behind a blue hole.
okay. So it was more like a lightning strike transforming sand into.
Yeah.
Right.
Does that happen, actually?
Well, Well, yes, lightning strikes and sand, they make glass.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
There's actually a creature in Winds of the Earth that is based on that.
Even cooler.
Called
It's
Lightning Sheep.
it's not what you think it is, but here.
Oh, that kind. Okay. That's still pretty gosh darn cool.
Yep.
Also, sunglasses on that. Hmm. I wonder how well he can see with those glasses on.
The
Regardless.
lenses are little too far from each other, but
Oh, those. That's really cool. That's so cool. But you have a mission, or at least you have something you want to do.
yes.
You head out into the distance. You eventually breach the forest and come into a very rocky desert. It's adjacent to hills where there are trees, but this section seems quite rocky. Ooh, more sunglasses on reptilian boys. He looks so relaxed. You in the distance can see geysers sprouting up from the grounds, and near those geysers are like small tents and buildings with a strange glow around them. Roll me perception. Additionally, Como notices a small patrol of several kobolds running around the camp.
Is it possible for us to discern what exactly they are doing?
They're just patrolling by the looks of it. There's one with a
Are
big
they,
staff and one who just has a little weapon.
are they in any way hostile?
They are patrolling.
Well, yes, but
They are
okay, fair
patrolling.
enough.
I
That
mean,
is
if you
fair
can tell
enough.
from a distance what someone's disposition towards you is, that's impressive. But
Fair.
Hmm. Can you tell anything by their clothes or anything? Like
Is this the
where they
original inhabitants of the camp?
you never asked about what the original camps of the camp looked like.
I see, I just assumed they were orcs. Like the orc guy
Well,
that
these are kobolds for
we
one,
dealt
and they
with.
seem to be dressed in black-looking robes.
black
So
robes?
they might actually be hostile.
Well, one of them is wearing black robes. The other guy's just wearing like a loincloth and all.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well, we had a bad history with black robes.
Well, I suppose we need to draw straws to see who goes in there and waves to them.
Not a lot seems to
Unless
happen.
we try to sneak around.
Like,
Sorry, say again?
are you gonna wave at them?
No, I'd probably try to sneak up on them and eavesdrop.
Okay.
Assuming they even speak the languages that I know.
Well, okay. Well, you know Draconic, and kobolds tend to speak in Draconic, right? Yeah, you know Draconic and Elven, so
Yes.
you can sneak up. So roll me stealth while I look up their perception stats.
Probably blow my cover because it's just a bunch of sand and rocks. And I
Yeah.
kind of stand out considering I'm 6'4".
Let me actually make sure I got this one right. Oh, heck, this is gonna be annoying.
Sorry.
What? 13 for stealth. Let's see if that's enough to avoid a kobold's detection. The answer is yes on one. And the other one... That's not the right one. Yes, you actually managed to evade detection. They are not too bright, despite being the guards of this place. So, you listen in on them, and they don't talk much. They're just like on patrol. But as you're close enough, you're hiding behind one of the buildings. You notice that there's weird magical circles drawn around each of the buildings.
Hmm. Okay. Can I identify the magical
You can
symbols?
attempt to use Arcana to figure something out.
Hmm.
Is Como gonna jump in with Arcana, or?
Well, I can call on the assistance of the mage, I suppose. That sounds like a good place and time for that.
Well, 12 is enough to know one thing, and that's that these circles are circles of like, they're sort of circles of silence. Like you look at the kobolds and you don't hear their footsteps or like any noises they're making, but at the same time you're still making noise. So the circles sort of keep noise out and keep noise in.
That is strange. How big are the circles?
They are so the houses are round and the circles go around a foot off the houses themselves.
All right, so are the kobolds inside those circles?
Nope, they are walking in between the circles, in between the buildings.
In that case, they're probably using a separate spell then.
What do you mean?
If they are not making any noises.
They're making no noises because you're like cuddled up against a building and within the circle for your ears at least.
Oh, so it's just an area of silence, not
Yes.
specifically.
No.
Okay.
It kind of it's kind of to stop noisy neighbors, so to speak.
I see. Do we still hear each other's noises?
Yes,
Because
because
that's
within
just...
the circle, it's kind of like a wall specifically for sound.
Uh-huh. So it's just a barrier,
Yes.
not an area of silence. Okay, that's
No.
fair enough. Which means we can probably make as much noise as possible without getting spotted.
It's interesting.
You don't know who's in this little tent though, so
Is there an opening I can peek in?
We can make an opening.
Hmm.
oh man, those kobolds and their big old plate. You could check inside through one of the opening flaps.
Yep.
That's the resident. Yeah.
As you peek inside, you see a person with strange energy swirling around his hand. They're somewhat sparkly, and he has a big rat next to him. And he seems to fail whatever he's trying to cast because a small explosion happens around his hand and he starts waving it around. Bah!
Oh yeah. Do I detect any magic anywhere?
You detect the magic of the circle, you detect the magic of his familiar, you detect the magic that's floating around his hand. So yes, you detect a bunch of magic.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Well, there's a. I whisper to Como or to Boiga.
Yes.
There's a possibly a spellcaster of some sort inside with their familiar.
Mage in the form of Wiggles and says, "You think?" You can probably tell at this point that the tone of voice and mannerisms change once in a while.
Hmm. Slightly disconcerting. Okay. Oh, what do you want to do? Do we ambush the guy or?
Well, we definitely have the jump on them, so at the very least, the sounds that they make will not spread out to the outside of the tent. In which case, it's if things go awry, it would be the perfect murder.
All right. I'll try sneaking into the tent and putting a knife to the guy's throat to start questioning him. Or them.
Roll me stealth to get in close. That's actually good enough.
Wow. Hello, hello.
Because the guy is concentrating.
No, because rollers win and they have shit wisdom.
Oh.
You manage to sneak up and you have a knife to his throat and you instantly hear his familiar rat going like
Yeah,
he's like, "Who are you?"
That that is my question.
Who do you think you are, tampering with a great wizard of the ash?
You're not
He's kind
very
of struggling
great,
and he's
considering.
kind of pathetic for what he's saying. Like,
Yes, exactly. And the mage would be right to point exactly that out.
What exactly are your plans here?
oh, we are worshipping the Ashen Lords and using this great, great geyser to cause some real hiccups.
Yeah, we've noticed.
Hmm. Did you
Uh,
send one of you kind to the whatever that ruin was called? Good
Wellspring?
Spring? Yeah, Wellspring.
Not that I know of. But as you can see, the influence of the Ashen Lords is great.
Yes, yes.
If you can roll me insight. If you want to, you can roll me insight because
Uh,
I'm not trained in it. Is it a skill that we can use?
yes, you can use every skill on train from what I know.
Okay, fair enough.
17.
So you can tell that A, this guy is clearly someone's apprentice, and B, he barely knows what's going on.
Okay.
Like he's just he's the kind of person who's like dragged into a cult because it's like, hey, get cool powers. And he's like, yeah, cool powers, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Did we catch the name of the orc from the notes?
The orc's name from the notes. Well, he probably put his name in somewhere. Let me pull up in the random generator and see what I'm gonna call this person
Okay.
because I did
We
not
do
have a name
have
prepped
his
for them.
diary, and he's probably, like every villain, speaking in third person.
His name was Dromdom.
Okay. I flip through his notes and say, are you aware of a person called that?
He shrugs. Says, I don't know. But it matters little.
Is the design of his particular robe in any way similar to the robe of the
It's very
orc?
similar. It's a very similar black robe. There's like ash sprinkled on it to give it a little bit of flair.
hmm
You don't know if it's the same person who made it, but the flair is certainly there.
So at the very least, we can safely assume that they are from the same cult.
Well, they might know the same. Like he was talking about the Ash Lord, so that connection is there.
Same sort of madness. Who's
Madness.
your master, little wizard?
My master is the Ashen Lords themselves.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But if you wish my mortal master, and
Yes,
wish to see
please.
your own destruction,
Maybe.
he's in the biggest tent. I mean, where else would he be?
I mean, just shrug at each other. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, can't argue with that.
And what's their name?
Their name? Such fools you are. Such fools you are! Walking into places without even knowing any names. And just kind of cackles. This
Kind
guy.
just kind of slap him on the nose.
So Shady, because you're also a warlock, you know this is the kind of warlock that has made a pact and is like, haha, before he realizes, you're not that strong. Like he's still not past that point yet. Also, you can tell that he's a tiefling. My name is Baron, and you want to know his name? His name is Ebexius.
I should probably scribble this down.
Alright, well, thank you for your cooperation and throat slit.
So the familiar jumps in, poofs into ash before it manages to strike.
Well, that's one cultist down.
And you learn some fun stuff.
We did, but did they commit suicide essentially, or what?
No.
He slit his throat.
Yeah,
Oh.
We call that plot damage.
Okay, fair enough.
Like he kind of sputters and he tries to scream out, but then he falls over, and the patron is like, "Okay, he's dead," and familiar shit went away.
Oops.
Patron familiar is the patron's property, so if you're gonna fucking die, he's gonna be like, "Okay, contract broken. Poof, lose your HP. Goodbye."
Poof.
The Ashen Lords are harsh.
Yeah. Well, we should still have the black robe. So at the very least, we can attempt to conceal ourselves. Although
there are other black robes here too. So
say again.
there are more black robes in this room. So
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Well, I did keep the other one.
Okay.
So stash the corpse, and is there
If
anything
he
of
turned
note?
into ash, then we can't really stash
No, the
anything.
guy didn't turn to ash. His body is still around. His familiar turned to ash.
Oh, oh my God.
You have a body
Yep.
on your hands.
Oh yeah, stash the corpse somewhere in the tent,
You
and
shove him under the bed, under the cot.
yeah, that's
Just
enough.
put him on the cot like he's sleeping.
I think it's very hard to hide a slit throat.
It get kind of soggy.
Just push him
And
under the bed. You pull the blankets down a bit, so it's hard to see.
Tuck
Yep.
him in. It's like, yeah, there you go.
Nice and dandy.
so, can we find anything interesting here?
Now, this is clearly in the princess room. We do find one exciting item. Your detect magic sense go off near a set of slippers.
Sleep?
Slippers, yes. They are magical slippers of some sorts.
Oh, okay. Magical sleepers. Can I identify them somehow, or do I need a spell for that?
Identification rules in this game are that you have to take a rest, and then you can identify a single item of choice.
Alright, well, I have magical sleepers.
Yes. They have a strange stickiness to the soles, a strange magical stickiness. Like no residue, you just bloop, and it sticks to a surface.
Make a guess on what they are then.
You can make a guess, yes. But there's nothing else like major in the room. This guy clearly was not like high up on the ladder to get anything cool other than those slippers, which might not even be his.
Hmm. Score sleepers.
Ba 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 ba.
And some ropes to disguise ourselves.
Indeed. They've got nice hoods, so you can pull them over your head.
So I'm gonna wear 2 hoods at once. Nice.
And with these disguises, do some more looking around the campsite.
Okay, so how many tents would there be? There's like 6 major tents. One big one in the center, and the 5 other ones are sort of gathered around it in front of a large fire. So it's sort of a circle.
Speaking of which, have we noticed any other figures in the camp other than the kobolds?
Not really. Like everyone else is probably confided to their tents.
Fair enough. We can probably bullshit our way through, say, you know, we're just very tall kobolds. I mean, I look the part.
Well, the guy you just cut down was a tiefling, so he wasn't a kobold.
Yeah, but he was still small.
He was a tiefling. He was human-sized.
Was he a human tiefling?
Orcish tiefling.
Huh.
Maybe half-orc,
Fair enough.
but it's
Fair
hard to say
enough.
with tieflings.
Fair enough. At least I won't be standing out too much.
Yep.
You can just say you're very
No problem.
tall. Though
No
considering
problem,
that these
I
people
won't
hire tieflings and kobolds, they're probably not too racially selective.
mind.
Probably because the Ashen Lords would, with all their ash stuff, might even turn you into another race entirely. So,
Ooh.
who knows?
Yeah, can be.
Try not to get hit with a reincarnation spell.
There is one.
There is a spell called reincarnation where you become a different race.
That's interesting.
It's been
Is
around
this
for a while.
technically a form of immortality?
No, I don't know. There's always usually restrictions on you can't bring someone back from the dead. I think reincarnation technically allows you to come back from the dead, even if you've aged naturally to death. But most spells, it's like, okay, if you've died naturally from natural causes, it's like, no, you can't come back.
So the goal would be not to die from natural purposes in order to achieve immortality. Oh, wow. That
Well,
is...
your the way I think D&D handles it is your deadline is a set deadline. You are walking on a time limit.
So
And
you
once
have
that
an
time limit
actual
runs out, you can't
hourglass.
come back. Unless you reincarnate.
That is interesting. Is it possible to flip the hourglass? Also, this is an interesting thing to argue about while we're walking among the tents. Although that would probably be exactly what they would be doing. At least what the mage would be doing.
Talking about what?
Just just out of nowhere, it's like, wow, reincarnation spells, huh? Just out of the blue, just oh. Ever thought of dying?
What if you could come back from being dead and you were something else
Yes,
now?
what if you... Yes, it's like
I'm actually gonna see if they still have it.
suspiciously specific questions.
Yeah, they still have Reincarnate in 5e. It is a 5th level transmutation spell.
Wow.
Yep.
Once you get to mage spell level 5, then you can be mortal.
It's a druid spell.
Huh. Yeah, it's like the druid's version of raising the dead, because druids don't get divine magic.
Okay.
Oh, once again, one more clarification. Would undead spells, necromancy spells, be a way to counter that?
What do you mean?
Oh, once again, it is possible to create
Oh yeah,
a
okay,
zombie,
here's something funky.
an
Yeah, it actually
intelligent
mentions
zombie.
that Resurrect doesn't work on people that die of old age, but Reincarnate does. Huh.
Yeah, you just
I guess it's
That-
because it's a different body, so it has a different timer on it. Okay, you were saying what about undead?
It's possible to create intelligence undead.
Yes, that was a thing we had in the other setting,
Yes.
and here probably too because the liches exist. So
Yes. So it's possible to create a lich out of oneself and bypass the timer that way.
well, yeah, it's a way to do it, but usually when you're an undead, you need something special to keep your intelligence from rotting away. I think
So
liches
an
need to like
item
eat
or a
brains or
goal.
something.
In which case, I would probably, if I had to do it, I would probably go ahead and like condition myself to actually have a long-term goal
Mhm.
that is nowhere near expiring. Anyway, did we reach the other tent?
What tent are you
Well,
going for?
we're the biggest one, like they said, assuming they're not all uniform and the same size.
Okay, well, yeah, the tent you just came from is like there are 5 smaller tents and then there's one big tent. And the small one you came from was on the east end, and the biggest tent's on the north end. So you go to the big tent, and immediately as you peek inside, you see an alchemy lab and someone working behind it. And in the center are several statues, which glitter and sparkle in many iridescent colors. Um,
Are they made out of ash?
they could be, but they resemble vague humanoid shapes.
So they are made of ash.
Could be.
Or they could be used to attack us. Also, quick clarification, the Thunder Wave,
Mhm.
does it also work on allies?
Yes, we'll say it does. So don't use
Okay,
it
fair
adjacent to
enough.
your friends.
Just
Because
like,
it also works on unattended objects. It probably works on your allies too.
well, it's going to be fun when the tent explodes.
You'll probably
From
break
the
the
inside.
magic circle because it's not like made to be disrupted.
Yes, but the question is, do we want to do this? What would be the repercussions of it?
Of blowing up the whole tent.
Of breaking the circle, but yes, also the tent.
When you break the circle,
But
all the sound comes out, and people can probably hear the thunder wave.
Oh, you meant that circle.
Yes.
I thought the circle of statues or something. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, the circle of statues. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows how closely whoever this is dedicated to is looking? Be they ghosts.
How big is the tent?
It's a pretty big tent. I'm not good with sizes when it comes to this stuff, but
15 feet is roughly 3 boigas standing on top of each other. 3.5.
I'd say that it's at least 30 feet across. Then
30 feet across. How tall is it?
it's pretty tall up, like around
Mhm.
10, 15 feet up. Like it's a very
Okay.
fancy tent.
Okay. Well, if you in the middle, then your thunder wave shouldn't reach
It's
out.
probably just blow the roof off.
Yeah, they might. Outsiders might notice something, but they wouldn't hear it.
Well, I have never used it before, so the characters can't really know. Well, I mean the
Well,
mage does, but
You're a wizard, and wizards generally know what they're discovering. So
yes,
if you were a
but
sorcerer, I'd say no.
Shady doesn't in character at least. So yes.
Shady would just be like, "What the hell, man?"
I thought you were a ranger. And,
I'm only a ranger on Tuesdays, Mom.
That would probably be exactly the answer that he gives while he's in control.
Great. That's great.
That's exactly what he says. Okay, is it possible for us to get the jump on the guy who is working on the alchemy set?
That will be a stealth check.
Well, I'm a little less proficient with this as a mage, but let's see what happens. Well,
It's just
I sneak up to the guy and hold up a weapon up to his throat while Shady just kind of falls
Shay
over
stumbles over a
in the
pot and pan
background.
and makes a lot of noise.
Mhm.
The guy
Yeah,
turns
you-
around and sees Boyga, and immediately, as if he almost knew you were there, swats at your hand. Make me a strength check to hold on to your weapon. Actually, a strength save, so you get the better one.
Wait, so advantage or something?
No, no, no. You get +2 to it because you get your proficiency
Right,
bonus.
where
So
would be the saves?
the saves are directly next to your stats, above your skills, saving throws.
Here we go.
Okay, so the hand swats against yours in a sort of martial attack, but you manage to hold on to it, and you are not
He
disarmed.
kind of he kind of pushes the sword to the side and like bring it back slowly. Like, okay, what made you think that this will work?
And he has his other hand, and in his other hand is a purple ball of energy. This is why I think this will work.
Hmm.
He has you at magic gunpoint.
Yes, well, I have him at a sword gunpoint,
Uh,
aiming at his chest or face, probably like pressing against him in a very crude but rather intimidating manner. Anyway, I mean,
What do you want? He asks.
well, honestly, just a few questions, but your minions have been making it very problematic so far.
There is like someone else standing next to him, like a small grunt. You don't know what it
Yeah,
is, but
people like that.
what are your questions?
What happened to the original inhabitants of this camp?
Butchered by infidels.
Okay, that's
People that do
interesting
not believe in
position
the
to take.
power of the Ashen Lords.
Wait, by infidels or as infidels?
By infidels. Like, basically the people from the camp were like, let's clear this place out so we don't have trouble with it.
That's weird, but
Are you here to repeat history? Because you will fail.
well, I don't know about failing, but you'll be dead with me in case anything happens. So
if I finish tumbling, I'll pull out my crossbow.
You're not tumbling that long. You're not like endlessly rolling in place. You're not in gay baby jail. Don't worry about it.
you just knock over a pot. And it's like stumble a bit.
Yeah. Well, how about your questions then?
I'm getting to it. Were the inhabitants of this camp, the current inhabitants of this camp, responsible for the orc that oh my god, what was his name?
Let me pull
Scroll.
up my
Dromdom.
notes.
Dromdom.
Dromdom. Yeah, I hold up one of the pages and like squint at it. Dromdom, yes.
That fool ran off, and sounds like she paid the price for it. He paid the price for it.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but yes. Well, did you order him to attack the town indirectly by soiling the river with ash?
I told him to do nothing of the sorts. He left a few weeks ago. Or even before then. I don't keep track. They must still have the favor of the Ashen Lords if they were doing something like that, though.
So, do I know anything about these Ashen Lords?
What would that be? Would that be history or religion? I'd say that'd be a religion check.
I don't have anything in that, so... Oh, okay.
18.
Well, it's probably untrained.
Yeah, but there's no trained untrained thing in 5e.
Yes.
So, The
Or
Ashen
just
Lords are
class
sort
and
of
not
a
class?
they're so Ashen Lords is one of those debated topics where people sort of like the Holy Spirit, you know, it's like everyone's like this is what the Ashen Lords are. What is known is that they are a patron and they do give people powers. And they are supposedly quite powerful. Some believe that they are humans from the old world trying to come back. Others believe that they are a physical manifestation of Ash because Ash is so fucking chaotic that you can get literal mind spirits out of it. The point is, um, they are here and they are real and they are kind of scary.
Alright. Uh, well, I'm not a fan of Ash, so not a fan of Ashen Lords or their cultists either.
On a side note, Safi, can I post this GM Biter thing
Of what?
in the schedule chat for the Ashen Lords?
Um, well, I guess you can.
Okay, so here's the link to the latest one that I have. I think that it has some more info on
I don't
this.
think I wrote anything on the Ashen Lords specifically yet, though.
I think you at least mentioned them
Yeah, they're mentioned
somewhere.
as like some mages. There's nothing on them.
Okay.
The point is, though, the Ashen Lords, which, as I said, as you do know, is that they are real and they do grant people powers as a patron.
Yes.
Yeah, Ashen Lords, some mages.
What I mean, that would be a spoiler anyway, but the point is,
Well,
this guy is like, no, go. You have your answer, then go. Nothing to do with that
so
guy.
so they're not directly responsible unless they're
No,
lying, and
that would be an insight check.
okay.
Very insightful.
Oh, they're telling the
Wow.
truth. To the best you
From
know.
what we can tell, yeah.
Yeah.
What are your plans here?
We plan to study and worship the Ashen Lords, of course, and bring about their great return to this world.
Well, they probably shouldn't look in the other tent, right?
He seems pretty cocky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you have the backing of a god that will kill you for disobedience, I'm pretty sure you would be cocky about it.
Kill for disobedience. Where did you get that from?
No, I meant the. Okay, do we know if the Ashen Lord specifically, the evil kind that, kill people for failures? You failed me for the last time.
No, they're not Sith. They're not stupid.
They're just chaotic.
Like, it's really stupid to just kill anyone for a mistake. People can learn. People can grow. People can be used as cannon fodder instead of just being shot to death.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's actually pretty insightful. Well, in that case, we should probably. Will they try to attack us if we try to leave? That would probably be an actual question that the mage would ask.
It depends.
You know.
What are your intentions?
Well, our intentions were to go in here and investigate whether or not these people were responsible for attacking an actual, like, civilization. And apparently they weren't. Apparently it was a rogue, from what we can tell.
Yes, they were quite like this guy, who seems to be, he speaks with the kind of authority a priest would. So.
Still, a hokey religion. Scary. That it might be.
Why is it hokey?
Because all religions are hokey. I mean, there are ways to kill a god, so it's clearly not the omnipotent kind of god. And these gods give their followers rewards, so it's more of a vending machine god, which is like bullshit in the first place.
You have a lot of assumptions about how gods work in this setting.
Maybe, but, Maybe it's just the mage talking, like in character
That makes
to the
sense.
guy, just monologuing, because he is he's not into this whole religious thing.
If you're just going to stand here and monologue to me about... a quick note to make is that there's a difference between worshipping a god and having a patron. Like, a patron is sort of
True
like your
enough.
slave owner. Like, it's not the relationship a cleric has, where it's like, I believe in you, I think you're great. A patron is more like, I want power, and this guy's like, okay, here's a really
Yes,
tight
because he's
contract.
also a warlock, right?
Yep, he might be.
And what is Shady's patron, by the way?
Oh,
A magic weapon.
the shadowy entity.
Yeah. Which got him in this magical world.
Actually, I want to know more about it, but a little bit later after we're out of it. And it's all like in character. Okay, well, from what we can tell, these guys are not responsible for the immediate attack. However, they're Ashen Lords. Is it possible for us to actually get in contact? Because we're great fans. Is it
The
possible for us
statues
to join their
behind you
cult?
are a way to commune with them.
Would you allow us audience?
I don't decide that.
Okay, would they allow us audience?
He gives you another look and goes, what do you want? I literally just said, I don't go about that.
Yes, well, I mean, he doesn't allow
Go
us,
ask
but
them
we're asking.
yourself.
Fine. I'm just gonna, like, give my sword to Shady, like, hold him at gunpoint while we do this.
I have my own sword, thank you.
And the crossbow.
Well, yes, I know. He just shoves the sword to you. Like, here, hold this.
Okay, I now have two swords. I'm pointing at this guy's throat.
You guys are great problem solvers.
Yes, well, I mean, I've been playing just straight up deadpan characters for a while. I want to play somebody who's eccentric.
Okay, so what's
And-
your move?
Approach the statues, and if
From the side, or are you going to stand in the center or somewhere?
would probably, well, I would probably have to approach it from the side, but yes, to approach the center and attempt to communicate with
As you
whatever
step
masters
into the
that
center
yes,
of the
yes.
circle of statues, you vanish, and your good friend, and you can't see your good friend anymore, and your good friend cannot see you. You are the circle of statues surrounded in a swirling mass of darkness, and you are standing in an endless void surrounded by statues that are now moving.
Nice.
Okay, what happened to him?
He is communing with the Ashen Lords, of course. He has a big smirk on his face.
Smart.
He has been
Ah,
teleported to a faraway place where the Ashen Lords rest. He'll be back, perhaps.
Right. I step forwards.
No closer there, cat. He still has that energy in his hand.
Can I make that energy go away? Or the hand?
Don't
That
forget
would
there's a goon
probably
standing
start a
next to him
fight.
too, so it's 2-1.
Yes.
Oh, there's a guy?
Yes, I mentioned
Yes,
him.
there's a goon next to him.
Oh, I kinda missed that then.
Like, the standoff is much more him being like, I don't want to fight today, than anything
Well,
else.
you do have two swords. You
Como,
know.
you are standing in the void. The
Yes.
statues are moving. They are observing you. And that is all.
I just kind of wave to one of them.
It doesn't wave back. Well, it's you see its hand go up and it's like, no, no.
So like it pulls itself back.
It like slightly lifts its hand and then goes no. It puts it back down again. It almost humored you.
Almost. Damn it, that's a good icebreaker. Or it used to be. So I attempt to perform a curtsy and greet the
Curtsy is
Ashen
what people do
Lords.
with skirts, so.
I know. It's more of a mockery, really, but yes.
Do
It's possible to do a curtsy without...
You are within our realm.
I kind of figured, yes.
You feel a strange chill in your heart, as if some
Ow.
cold hand is grabbing it.
That is uncomfortable, but okay, I assume this was that is part of the deal.
Speak, unbeliever.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say specifically unbeliever, more like skeptical. In the
You
sense that
doubt
I
our
do acknowledge
power?
your existence.
Kobo,
No.
roll
Yes.
me a Constitution save.
Oh,
These guys are no nonsense.
yes, they aren't.
You fail. You take 4 points of damage as the cold seeps into your body.
Ow. Okay, I need to reduce that by 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go.
On the outside, by the way, the darkness seems to sort of turn jagged for a moment.
Hmm.
Ah, I sent the right one in, didn't I? And you can tell the sort of like, I'm going to cut this short if that happens again, because you guys are dead. So, still skeptical, mortal?
I'm not skeptical of your power, like I said.
What brings you here? What makes you defile our realm?
We're investigating an attack on one of the local population centers.
Yes. One of our
Did
more
you-
eager ones wanted to prove themselves. Who are we to deny them the chance to fool themselves?
That is fair enough, so you're not intentionally sending people off to kill other survivors.
They were simply trying to conjure us a storm. Through the storms we draw closer.
Fair enough. So... I wonder if it will be possible to persuade them not to repeat that, at least with this particular town, I suppose. Wouldn't call it a city.
We do not go about how our apprentices handle the situation. He's simply saying, like, listen, dude, we didn't specifically tell them to do that. Like, that's their whole spiel.
Okay, so they just chose this. Okay. Fair enough. Well, is it possible to tell if they're genuine about this?
Roll me insight.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they're pretty genuine. Like, this is not the,
So-
you don't get the sort of vibe you get from, like, evil lords. They're like, haha, I'm evil, I'm lying, haha.
So they're not specifically in the business of killing off their potential followers.
No. Well, the thing is, they were like, this idiot's gonna is like the way they looked at Dromdom is
Mhm.
Dromdom was like, I want more power, and he's like,
Right.
I'm gonna conjure up an ash storm so that they have to give me more power because I'm doing good stuff. And they were like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, you're gonna kill yourself, and he did. Like he turned himself into an ashen statue doing so. So they were like, yeah, do yourself a favor, it'll help us, and we'll get rid of you. Double win. And they kind of relay that to you, that's how they looked at it.
I just imagine that there's this dude with a booming voice, right? And then there's another one who just kind of just straight to the business explains it in a normal voice.
They kind of smack him, and the statue smacks him on the head like, don't do that.
Yes. Don't do that. Well, at least we've established that. So what we can tell to, well, assuming I get out of this alive, is explain to the citizens of the town that either they can join this cult, assuming they want to, or they will occasionally have to be on the lookout for certain apprentices being very cocky.
You hear, so this is what you hear. You hear a voice, like the from the
Right.
outside. You notice that the darkness is sort of shrinking,
Mhm.
and they were clearly not expecting that kind of answer. Like they weren't
Who?
expecting you to sort of
The
relent
lords?
in their direction. Yeah, you said that to them, right? Like you were, because they're not like expecting you to think that direction. To be like, hey, we'll just not go ahead and kill everyone.
Wait, about relaying the information to the town?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably go about that. I might be an evil person, but I am not out to literally kill anyone.
You are a fool, but you can be trained. Curious, curious. We see that you will weave your way in. We will grant you safe passage out of this place, but you will take our mark.
Oh, damn it. Another one!
Oh, no, no, it's not like that little friend in your head. It's just a little symbol. So, are you going to accept that, or
Yes. I'll just
any
have to be
further
very careful
questions?
about it.
Because once they give you this mark, they're going to poof. They're done
Yeah,
with you.
okay. Well, I need to clear something up. Well, I mean, I can probably be like super straight up about this and say, what is your overbearing story arc thing? But that will probably get some cryptic metaphor answer,
Or they
which is
just say
not going
no.
to be. Or they would just say no. Yes, indeed.
The power of saying no.
The
It's
power
what's...
to see this. Yeah.
Zone of Truth is powerless against no. But yes.
Well, give me a moment. I might think of something.
Okay, take your moment. You can confer with Belmore. Like, you're allowed to butt heads and sort of share ideas.
Well,
Hmm?
technically, I'm. What am I gonna poke my head out of this
No, no,
like
no, no, no,
void
no, no,
thing?
no, no. The way I like to see it is, the way I like to see it is, you're keen-headed adventurers. You're pretty smart, and if you combine your heads, you
Okay.
can sort of replicate the intelligence of a smart person better.
Okay. Fair enough. Put our intelligence scores together.
Like here's the thing. Say you're in real life you're fucking stupid, but you have like an 18 intelligence character. If someone else is like I'm super smart, then you can just use them as like they're the source of your intelligence. They are the 18 intelligence
Okay.
that talks through you.
Okay. Well, Elmore, do you have any idea what kind of questions we can ask to these guys? That would either
Oh,
further the plot or be of actual use to us.
I'm being kind of spacing out here.
You've been sitting there looking at them, and the guy's like, man, this guy is terrible at keeping hostages. It's disappointing. He's shaking his head. Oh, shady.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of looking at chaotic neutral types. Okay.
Ooh,
So
chaotic
yeah,
neutral.
but I kind of put that as my alignment, and I'm now looking up hmm, how that should manifest. But yeah, okay. So you questions for the Ashen Lords.
Yes.
Okay.
Is
Let's
it, by
see.
the way, in character or out of character kind of stuff
What do you mean?
right now? The butting heads together.
It's sort of like he's like another part of your brain. Like you're thinking hard about this, and
Hmm.
he's basically providing additional input.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Or maybe like
Thinking
at
it
some point
kind
you
of.
discussed like if we get to talk to someone, these are the
Okay.
questions we'll ask.
Okay. What are the plans?
Because really think about this. If you're in combat, you
Oh,
have 6 seconds per round. You don't have time to coordinate something. So I usually go with the reason you coordinate is because beforehand you discuss strategies.
Yes, maneuver Alpha Sigma Delta 5.
I don't know what that means.
It's just Star Trek technobabble stuff. There's always a maneuver. There's always a solution, like polarize the hull or something.
There's always technobabble to save the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're ready, I'm going to roll the severity dice on what this mark is going to be.
Ugh. Well, if you roll like a 1 or 20, I'll probably just be straight up statue from now on.
so
No
yeah.
questions?
What are the
Well, what are their what
Belmore
are they
is the
planning
one
to
to
do?
ask the question here because you already asked yours.
Oh, so it's
Oh,
kind of like one question per person deal.
No, no.
Okay.
Belmore, do you have any further things you want to add or questions you want Como to ask?
okay. What questions have been asked thus far? Just a quickish rundown.
If
I've
they were
asked
responsible for the orc, was one.
if they were responsible for the orc and the attack on the city, on the town. I mean.
Okay. What are the What are their plans?
Well, their
Where did
plans has
they
been made clear as they want to summon themselves, and the ash storms are a way to do it.
Okay, okay.
Manifest themselves in the world?
Yes.
How will that affect the world?
Well,
Pretty
more ash
badly,
storms would
probably.
mean a bunch of problems in terms of like ash storms, but it's not like once they arrive, who knows what they're gonna do? But it's not
Hmm.
like more ash storms is in specific like a world-ending event.
Okay, okay. Where did they come from?
Before.
Well, it's wait, did where they come from? The question was.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I can kind of get behind this idea. It's like hanging out in the real world with booze and chicks is probably better than just, endless void.
Endless Void gets boring
So,
fast.
yes, so at the very least, it's like, yeah, sure, come hang out. Like, just don't break anything. And
Hmm.
also the source of power, which is always great.
Will
Okay.
you manifesting the world break the world?
No, it will not.
So you're kind of assholes, but not necessarily like the world-destroying ones, because do they get their power from worshippers?
Nope.
So they're not technically gods.
So they're not deities.
They're basically like
Deities.
superpowered mages by the looks of it.
Hmm. Uh, would I be able to actually recognize any of them, considering the whole pre-war, pre-cataclysm origin?
No, these statues that they're communing through is like they're too vague to make anything out.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just say, oh, that's Bob from accounting. Hi, Bob.
Well, kind of like that, but not quite. Maybe it's just I've heard about some powerful figures that maybe could have been planning to do that to get around the whole end of the world. That happened already. Hmm. Well, I suppose that's it then for now. I can't really
Okay.
think of any questions that are relevant to the story because we don't really know much of the story yet. And I'm sure we'll be able to commune with them later on.
Okay.
So, yeah, what is this?
Oh.
How dead am I with this mark?
Okay. Okay. Um. So the grip on your heart releases. The darkness seems to recede as one of the statues reaches into their chest and pulls out a long, intertwined staff. One part of the staff is made out of a very glittery white metal, and the other end is made out of a very dark, sort of star-spangled black metal. They are intertwined in a helix, and he hands it to you. And with that, the statues freeze in place, and the darkness is gone.
Wow.
All right then. So, do I see him reappear?
Yes. Like
And I'm
first the
sitting
darkness
there.
recedes, and then boop, it suddenly appears out of nowhere.
With a
Oh,
stick.
Boyka. How are you?
Well, aside from a collapsed heart, I'm pretty okay so far.
Your
Oh,
chest still aches. Ugh.
okay.
Yes,
That's all.
just clutching the chest and stuff.
That's that. Okay. You're not dead, so that's good.
Indeed.
So,
You also notice a staff that's like in the hand of a statue going out to Como.
oh, yeah. Apparently, you got a gift there.
Apparently so. Is it safe for me to touch it?
Yep. Looks like it.
Just kind of politely grab it?
You grip your hand around it. The white part feels warm. The black part feels cold. It's very awkward to hold as a result of it, but you can sense that, even you can sense that inside is like powerful energies are swirling around.
It's possible for me to discern its nature and capabilities just from holding it or looking at it.
Give me an
It would
Arcana
probably
check.
be Arcana, yes. 1 second.
That's impressive. Why did you get a +5 on that? Oh yeah, because you're. Oh, because the mage is doing
Because
it.
I'm trained. Yes, because yeah.
The mage is like taking a look. Okay, the mage takes a very careful look at this thing. This thing is a very special staff of healing, by the looks of it. And while you are holding it, for one, it's also very light for a staff. But what's more interesting is that you suddenly have knowledge of the Elven and Dwarven language as long as you hold onto it, and it functions as a staff of healing, but requires no class has no class restrictions.
That's interesting. Because in Pathfinder there were no restrictions. Like for example, in the Staff of the Dragon. Remember, anyone can use it.
I will actually look up the tidbit on the staff of healing, and I'll post it.
Also, how do magical items like this work? Do they work on charges?
The description says everything you need to know. Except for one thing, which is attunement. The way attunement works is I think you have 2 attunement slots, and you have to take a long rest to get it back.
Okay, so you get 2 uses of the item out of it.
It does not have the class restriction, by the way. Like, you can just use this one.
This is interesting.
Nice.
Also, unlike any other staff, if this one is used up, it doesn't vanish, it just becomes a quarterstaff.
Okay, Olga.
Oh. Is it possible to recharge it, by the way? Unset it? Yes.
So, are these guys cool? Are we cool here?
They're
So the
pretty
guy sees the staff
chill.
holding,
Yes.
and he kind of squints. What are you gonna do? What are you saying?
I said to Shady, they are pretty chill, as in like making a pun.
Okay. Okay. I give him back his sword and can just cautiously not point my sword at them anymore.
You were given a gift by the Ashen Lords to an infidel.
Well, I guess I'm not as much of an infidel as you thought I was, huh?
He squints, he doesn't give a shit, and he charges up his blast.
Oh,
But Como, as he does
Yes.
that, the Ashen Lords are not, they are very attentive. As this guy, as he tries to charge up, seems to suffer the same kind of heart freeze as you did.
Nice.
oh ho ho.
He hears, you can tell he hears a voice in his head because he's kind of looking around. Because you don't just take someone's gift like that. He scoffs. He goes, "Puh!"
Just kind of flick him on the nose.
He's still like hunched over, and his little minion is like, "Don't do that, or I'll stab you." But yes, you have a staff, and you've learned some things.
Well, at the very least, we know the antagonist, or at least one of the antagonists of this story so far. It's nice when we get a glimpse of that like this. Okay, we should probably like vacate the premises real quick
Oh,
if we
Okay.
can.
so we just leave them here.
I mean, if you go now, the guy's still like suffering from his heart problem, so
Yes. So we should probably make like a tree and leave.
All right then.
oh that what is this with reptiles wearing glasses, Como?
A few years ago, somebody dropped their sunglasses into like an alligator enclosure,
Mm-hmm.
and it landed on the dude's head. And since then, people have been doing like ridiculously dangerous things, and it's been a fad. It was alligators and crocodiles with glasses.
What a fad.
That's a good way to lose a hand.
It's a great way to lose a lot more than just your hand, like fingers or an arm. But as you leave, the kobolds that are on guard duty are like, "Hey, where you going?"
We are on a mission.
What's
We
the
have been, we have been given an inspiration by the Ashen Lords, and we are heading out to fulfill their will.
roll me deception with advantage because that's a good one.
Yeah, the mission
Ah,
from God, and the dressed in
Okay.
black.
Deception, right? With
Yes.
advantage.
You
Disadvantage with
guys,
no, yeah, deception with advantage.
Well, I just got a +1 out of it, but yeah. Is this
yeah,
enough to fool them?
They're not fooled, but they're like dumbfounded that you're running off like this because you're wearing the robes. You pull it off well, but they're like, "What?" They're gonna ask questions of the boss, like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, well, ask the questions to the boss. He's having a hard problem right now.
They're like a heart
Also, don't
problem.
look in the smallest tent for like at least a couple days, okay?
Okay. uh,
I mean, not even my fault. Shady's just a bloodthirsty murderer, apparently.
don't you go blaming him.
I'm not blaming him. I would have done the same thing probably because, well, what else am I supposed to do? Just knock him in the head and knock him out?
Okay. Well, you managed to make your getaway. We're on a mission
Yes.
from God.
With a mission from God, apparently. Yes, but they didn't directly give us a mission. They just gave us a gift, which I assume comes with a lot of strings attached. So I will probably avoid using it at least until I really need to. Quick question about recharging things.
Yes,
Once it runs out of charges, is
It's
it possible
specific-
to recharge it?
it specifically mentions how that works.
1 second, let me open this up again. Zoom in.
The staff regains 1d6
10
plus 4
charges. While
charges.
holding it, you can use an action to expend one or more of its charges to cast one of the following spells from it. Staff regains 1d6 plus 4 standard charges daily at dawn. Okay, fair enough. So if I expand all the charges, it's just a stick that I can bash people over
When
the
you
head
expend
with.
all the charges, there's a 5% chance it'll turn inert.
Oh, so I can safely use 9 of them, and then just keep it.
Yep.
Okay. Mass cure wounds. Wow, that's an interesting. Using your spell save DC and spellcasting ability modifier. Okay, cool.
You can use whatever spell slot you want for it, but you don't have spell slots, so... The mage does, however.
Well, yes. He's probably going to be the one using it anyway. So, yeah.
He probably likes it because every mage has a staff.
Well, we technically still have the stuff from the orc. We didn't
The
pedal it
wand.
off, did we? Okay, fair enough. A mini staff. But yes, I have a stick now that is probably not really up the mage's alley, but it's useful enough.
It's black and white. It sparkles, it shines, it's warm and cold. It's a lot of things at
Yes,
once.
and it kills undead like super hard.
Under the right circumstances, it can sure show those undead what for.
Yes.
Actually, it specifically says that it has no effect on constructs or undead. That's not in my book. Positive energy, bitch. That's how I work.
Well, it's mass cure wounds. If I heal undead, they would probably just like turn into actual corpses.
Let me actually look this up.
Because that would be interesting. Because it's a healing spell that doesn't hurt undead. Like that would be weird.
This spell has no effect on undead or... Yeah. In this version, apparently, they're like, no, it does nothing.
Neither of these work on the undead.
In my book, they do, because I still adhere to the idea that they're negative energy and you're using positive energy, so...
Okay. A quick question though.
Mm-hmm.
Considering it's intertwined good and bad, it's only doing the healing spells. That's kind of interesting.
Well, that's just the staff's design.
Oh.
Like,
okay.
they could make it out of a bit of driftwood and it would be the same staff. Functionally.
Okay.
That being
so
said,
the
I
core
do like your
function
train of thought of that it being also a mass infliction. So
It's just you select, or at least, well, yeah.
I don't know if inflict wounds
or
still
it randomly
exists
does
though.
Well,
It
let's
does.
check.
Okay.
So would it be the same tier as just evil,
What do you mean?
meaning inflict wounds and then
No, inflict wounds is very different now. Inflict wounds. Make a melee spell attack against a creature you can reach. On a hit, it deals 3d10 necrotic damage.
ugh.
And if you use a spell slot higher, it does an extra 1d10.
So there are no like different iterations like here. Like
Nope,
I
nope,
think
no.
there's
No, the way
three
Cure
different
Wounds
spells,
work
but
is it's 1d8 plus your spell modifier, and for every level above first, you get 1d8 extra. Which, in my opinion, is a bit better, because then you have a more potent version than just critical.
okay. So in this case, it would be inflict wounds, but you just cast it from a
Mhm.
higher level by expending more charges.
I say that you'd also have to use a spell slot to cast it at a higher level.
Okay, so I'll just have to slot. Okay.
Because you're putting your extra, you're putting your own oomph in.
Okay, that is fair enough.
Now,
I'll need to figure this out later. but
you're
yes.
done here. You're running.
Okay.
You presumably make it far enough that they can't catch up to you by the time you've reached the edge of the forest.
Yes.
I can run really fast.
You're a cat. You can run super fast.
Mm.
Kitty
Well,
cat run.
technically, I am
You're like-
somewhat of a dinosaur or a raptor, so I would imagine I can run pretty fast.
You do
as
that
well.
monitor sprint.
Yes, or crocodile run. Yes.
But go. I love how they walk with little feet, little feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, except that Wigga has pretty long feet.
Heck.
Hmm.
Well, as you've circumvented most of the encounters.
Well, I'm sorry.
No,
put a
no,
lot of
no.
work
It's not
into
always
stuff.
about combat. If you can solve without combat, that's great.
Mhm.
You make your way back into the forest. You hear grunting and groaning in the distance as you enter the woods again.
Oh,
The
What
storm
kind
may have
of-
caught someone off guard.
is it like
It's a zombie-like
People-
groan.
oh? Hmm. I'll go take a look.
You take a look. It's in a book. Off a distance away, you see they're small. They're not very big. They're small creatures. They've got very scrawny, jagged limbs, and they sort of stumble forwards, seemingly blind, as they stumble over everything.
Oh my god,
Ooh. Weird.
that is terrifying.
What is?
What you've described, is it possible for us to tell what exactly they are and whether or not they are an immediate danger to us?
You have no clue what they are. They are being spawned by a chaos storm, to the best of your guess.
Ugh.
Okay. I'll pick up a rock and throw it at one of them, just to see what it does.
So the rock gets around a feet with it. Once it gets within the feet of range of this creature, it suddenly snaps, and you hear a very noisy, wet crunch as it suddenly turns towards you. It has dodged the rock, by the way. It basically did a whisker dodge.
Wow, that's impressive.
The other ones all turn towards you as well.
Okay.
You see that their eyes are an empty, milky white.
Okay.
Oof.
Do they follow me if I start to move sideways?
Their eyes follow you, or at least their heads do.
Oh,
Wow. Okay, this is really creepy. I like it.
interesting.
Are they like all bunched up?
They're bunched up.
Are they technically undead, or do they just look undead?
You have no clue.
Well, considering they're at full health, this will either do nothing or kill them, or at least damage them. So I would like to cast the one of the healing spells on them.
You're
Would
casting
it
a
be possible
spell
to use?
on a chaos creature.
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So what were you casting again?
The first tier on the closest one. The cure
If
wounds.
I recall correctly, Cure Wounds is a melee touch spell. Melee spell.
So I would have to bash them over the head with stick.
Let me look it up real fast, just to make 100% sure I do this right. Where's Cure Wounds? Man, there's so many spells with a Creation Crown. I don't care. Give me Cure Wounds.
Well,
Create
if
Undead. Oh,
you
there it is. Cure Wounds. It is a touch. Yes.
So I just kind of bap him over the head with it, the
Oh,
closest
they're
one.
distant. They're like 20 feet ahead of you.
Oh, so I
Uh,
have to. Oh,
I'll
and that.
What is
try.
Velmore going to do?
Yes.
I'll try frostbiting one of them. The most front one.
Okay, you're gonna shoot a frostbite at him.
And I'm gonna heal him.
Let me check some information here.
We're probably dead considering Safi's very cheeky right now.
Let's see. Constitution save. It's pretty good at those, so it's pretty bad at those actually. Oh no, it actually makes it. Yeah, it's fine. It seems unaffected by your attack.
Ooh.
Oh.
So, Como, what are you gonna do? Because these creatures have yet to initiate combat.
Well, I'm pretty sure Shady has already done that.
I just tried to cool
They
one
seem
down.
completely they're unaffected, and they're just like looking.
They're unaffected by the spell.
Yeah, a big old blast of frost, and they're like,
Well, in that case, slowly back away unless they try to attack, and in which case, if they do attack, then we will have to use the weapons.
As you take a step back, they all take a step forward, and they stop.
Alright, so hi there.
Okay, so that will be the pretty fun encounter then. Can I
say hi there and wave my hand.
say, I know this is like extremely out of character, but can I, if they copy our movements, can I make them dance the Thriller?
You don't know if they will.
Well, anyway, that
I'll say yes,
Shady
fine.
wave to them.
Technically, you could.
Okay. I don't know how Mage knows it, but he is from the whatever collapse happened. So he just does a little bit of a
But what's
Thriller
Belmore
dance.
doing? Belmore
Yes.
was waving, and they lift up the exact same hand as you are, and they wave back in tempo.
And I greet them. Hi
They do
there,
not
little
greet
guys.
back.
Oh, they don't speak.
You do hear like sickening, like gurgling groans coming from them.
Oh, maybe they're trying. I take a step forwards.
They stay still. They are now 15 feet away from you.
Alright. And if I take a step backwards, they follow
Take a
me.
step. Yep.
Okay. Alright. I jump.
They do not jump.
Hmm.
You can see them sort of squat, and you hear more of those bone-crunching noises, but nothing happens when they push back up again.
Oh,
Their jaws
Oh,
are
that
slowly
is
starting to hang
disgusting.
open. And within their jaws is a strange glowing goo.
Okay, that's not good. I take out my crossbow and aim they gullet. That, like,
But if it's
first.
goo, then it's okay. Surely better than nothing. Yeah. If Shady does that, I will reach out to the actual Boyga because
Oh.
she's got the bow.
20 initiative, huh? What is the initiative on these little boys? Oh, it doesn't matter. They rolled super low. Roll your initiative, Como.
But you've already rolled it, or is it the previous one? 1 second. Initiative. Click. Wow.
You get to decide who goes first.
Well, Como has the highest initiative bonus.
Okay. What are you gonna do, Como?
Well, I do get 2 attacks at the start of the turn, so I'm going to spend the first one to call out back to Boyga, return the body back to her, and inform her that we are pretty boned right now. So, how much information can I relay in the
What
in the 6
information do you
seconds?
want to relay?
this guy's following us, and they repeat our movements, but they're also poised for attack. And we should probably use ranged weapons or something, and the spells are ineffective.
You don't know if spells are ineffective. You just fired one spell and it was ineffective. But sure, you relay that
Okay.
information. It's sort of a mental echo.
Yes, and they look undead, but I don't want to get close to them to bap them over the head with the thing. So
Oh,
The-
getting
the-
close
the-
probably won't be a problem.
they're both very angry at each other, or at least Boyga is angry at the mage for screwing up a whole bunch. And should pull out the bow and take aim.
Okay. Shoot at will.
No advantage, just normal.
Mhm.
Click.
Your arrow flies through the air and sort of bounces off one of the harder chunks on its forehead. No, you know
Oh.
what I'm going to say? It's sticking out of its eye, and it does nothing.
Ow. Well, yeah, technically, and yeah, they wouldn't care.
Shady, you saw the arrow go and do nothing. What's your plan?
I'll try the same out, just in case.
Crossbow lands in the creature's like hip, and one of its legs is like making even louder cracking noises as the wood of your bolt is slowly being crunched. But it does seem to have done something.
Huh.
Is it
Alright.
possible to discern how much damage this thing did, like proportionately?
No.
Is it a nuisance? Oh,
These
okay,
creatures
fair
don't seem to respond to damage at all.
enough. Well,
Like there's just a bolt sticking out of it. That's all you can tell. Let's roll number
Okay.
1. Roll number
are you
2,
attacking us now?
3. Roll number 4. Okay. That's 2 hits, 1 for each. Let me roll for damage. And you both get a
Can-
delicious charisma saving throw on this one.
Okay. So that would be. Click.
3 damage for Boya, and 2 damage for Shady.
Okay, how do they attack?
They attack
2
by
damage.
opening their
Okay.
mouths, and the goo comes out, forms together into a blob, and then that singular blob fires itself off at you in spray of weird psychic balls that go through you, but they hurt when they pass into you.
Ugh.
That is
Whoa.
terrifying. And disgusting. And
Like they sort of stand there
love it.
like statues, and now their mouths are closed again.
Okay, that was
You got attacked by their creamy filling.
right. How big were these things?
They're small. They're about the size of a gnome.
So it's garden gnome zombies.
I don't have a bag with me.
I wonder if they take one. Okay. They then move forward a little bit. They're like 5 feet away from you, so they're still outside of a wave attack. But the turn goes back to Boyga.
Well. Well, I suppose there's one thing that I can attempt to do is to whack them with the swords.
You take a step forward and go bonk.
Yes, except, did we add the additional
On your short
to
sword,
weapon
yes.
fighting style? Yes, okay, so they both get a bonus. Well, fingers crossed on this one. Click.
Did we do that? Yes, it does. Okay. So, which one are you attacking? Which ones? Because you hit.
How many other?
There's 4 of
total.
them. One of them has a bolt sticking out of its hip.
The one that's injured.
You go for a swing. Your first cut cuts its head off, and it falls, and the rest of the body seems to stay in place as the head lands on the ground. Like again, it is barely affected by it, by the looks of it,
So I cut off its head and it doesn't care.
to what you can tell.
Ugh.
You still have one more swing to go.
Wait, I get essentially
You have your
twice
second
every
swings.
turn?
You get one attack and then another attack. So make your other attack. Are you gonna do both
Oh,
swings at the same one, or?
yes, I'd probably try to turn it into like as little movable parts as
Okay.
possible.
So your second swing, you try to go for a stab, but this body is now rock hard, and as you stab it, it just falls over backwards, motionless.
Oh, so that it really is a garden now.
Now, at least.
Ugh. Okay, good enough. What do the rest of them do?
The rest of them are just standing there.
Oh my God, this is creepy.
They're not even looking at you, by the way.
Well, who are they looking at?
They're looking just at the middle distance.
So it's like 1,000 yards there.
Yep.
Uh, do they move at all? Make any kind of noise anymore?
Well, they're still moving like towards you. And now the boy guy's next to them. They seem to have stopped for a second, reconsidering.
Okay. So I'll approach them and whack one of them with my sword in such a way to make it fall down.
Swing, bada bada bada, swing. Okay. You take a big swing with your sword. You go from side to side, whoosh, and you lob one of its heads off, and the body is standing in such a posture that it actually automatically falls over forwards, motionless.
Hmm.
The creatures are going to go in for an attack.
Uh-oh.
Oh! This is going to be fun.
How dead are we?
I rolled a 20.
Roll d20. Okay.
Let me roll. That is 8 damage for Shady, as one of them manages to lodge its claw into you and tears at your flesh.
Ow.
Ow. Do they have armor?
What?
Do they have any armor reduction?
No.
Or does it not work like that?
We're
It's
not
just
playing
too dead?
Numenera.
Okay.
And the other one manages to just score a hit on
Oh.
Boiga.
Oh, actually, as it was attacking me, I could have activated my shield spell.
Doesn't work against critical hits.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was a critical.
Yeah.
Oops.
Boiga,
Would it
she
work
takes
against the other
5
one?
points of damage as a claw slashes at her
Uh-oh.
across the hips,
Ow.
attacking in a similar location as the other one was hit.
What are they going from like lower regions? Is this because they're so tiny?
They're pretty small. Like, you're pretty tall for them. You're like twice their size. What do you want from me? What do you want?
Nothing, I'm just
It's your turn,
it's just
Boiga.
interesting. Yes. Do I get 2 attacks?
Have you reduced your hit points?
Yes, I am now at 9 hit points.
I'm at 7.
It says 14 to me.
I guess I need to click off of it. Does
Yeah,
it look
there we
like
go.
that now?
There we go.
yeah.
Okay, Boiga, it's your turn again.
Yes. Well, in that case, if I do get 2 attacks at every time, I assumed I only get this at the start of the fight.
No.
But yes.
Oh, I forgot about Ambuscade. It's such a weird ability. The point is, when you make an attack, you can say, I want to make another attack as a bonus action with your offhand weapon. So it takes a bonus action to do.
Would I be rolling at a disadvantage for the second one?
No! It's one attack. You just say a bonus action. At least I think it is.
Okay.
I think that's how it handles it, at least.
Well, let's handle it like that in this fight, and then we'll like clear this up. So there are 2 statues left, so I make 2 attacks
Okay.
on one and the other.
Well, if we're going to do it like this, then we're going to have to remove the extra damage swing. We'll just take the first one for this one. Your first attack misses, but your second attack, you sort of lodge it in its skull. It gets stuck, and then you start to notice that your short sword is now stuck and lodged within this frozen statue creature.
Damn it! I like that
Shady.
one.
There's one more left.
Okay.
Aim for the eyes, chick ticker.
Yeah, I'll try to decapitate the last one. Or, yeah.
That's a clear hit and a swing. Swing and a hit. Whoosh! The creature goes down as you cut its head off and the body falls over.
Okay. Now that they're not moving, I take a closer look at them.
So the best way to describe them is they're sort of made out of like randomly formed jagged rocks. And there
Oh,
seems to be sort of something that looks like bone in it as well. But beyond that, it's like all gooey innards.
Ugh.
oh.
I think I'm gonna vomit.
Como, can you roll me a strength check to dislodge your short sword?
Yes, let me try. Like, holy crap!
You pull it out
I
just
just
fine.
rip it out. I just rip it out.
You rip it out, and at the same motion, you actually manage to swing all the goo off.
I say again, you broke up.
You pull it out with ease, and in the same swing, you also get all the goo off.
Yes.
Your weapon is now gooless.
If
Yeah,
it was
it's
gooful, I guess. If it had goo in it, how would it perform? Would it degrade the quality, or would it actually give it like extra damage or something? Considering the goo has just went through our bodies like it was a ghosty stuff, I guess.
Hmm.
You have no clue. You swept the goo off before it seemed to do anything.
Okay, fair enough. Is it possible for us to collect some of it, if any of it
Do you have
still
any
is
containers
there?
to collect it within?
Let me check in the survival thing. It's probably like a bottle at least. I do have an alchemist supply, so I would imagine I have some glass containers.
Yep, you probably have like a couple of pint-sized objects.
Yes.
Hmm.
Because if it is possible to coat weapons with it, that would be awesome. At least like dip the arrow shafts into it.
Cool. Cool. Let me roll.
Okay.
Okay, the goo seems stable within the bottles. It swirls
Okay, so
around
it's
from
not.
time. It seems to be attracted to you, but that's about it.
Ooh, so it's like some kind of alien goo monster that just kind of like
When you put
jumps
your
at the
hands close to
walls
it,
of the
it's the,
bottle.
the goo seems to move up as if your hand is gravitationally attracting it.
So it's attracted to living things or
It's
cute
attracted to
lizards,
your
I
hand,
guess.
at least.
Okay. Look, it likes me.
Okay. Does it does it do that if I put my finger near the surface?
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, it's fun.
Otherwise, it doesn't seem to display any degree of like intelligence trying to escape the bottle or something.
Hmm. Ah, well, we have some interesting goo here. Uh, do the creatures have anything else interesting on them,
Hmm?
like?
Do they have loot? Is that what you're asking?
They probably
Yeah.
don't.
Okay, so for the most part, like there's like scraps of cloth on them. But one thing you do find is
Oh.
that one of them had a bag, like tied or like you know how you have a bag and you have like a little sash you can put around yourself. This sash is like hanging from its ankle, and there's a sack like dragging behind of it.
Fanny
Oh.
pack?
No, it's one of those cloth sacks with pull strings. It's just a bag with pull strings, but there's also a string that goes through that you can hang around your shoulder and your side. You know, like a backpack,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
more like a
Okay.
backsack. Um,
Hmm.
and
Wow.
inside you find a whole bunch of cool stuff. Actually, you
Oh,
find the
interesting.
following haul.
Oh. Okay. Uh,
We can do the thing where
oh.
you turn everything into junk and instantly liquidate it into cold hard cash if you prefer.
Perfume
Heck.
temples. It's-
Just you
Ooh.
hold up an item and poosh, goes into a shower of gold pieces.
Just explodes into culture. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. That was a bad thing.
I hand Como a potion of healing.
I bap him on the head with the thing, but nothing happens because I can't control the magic. Oh wait, everybody can use it with no restrictions. So I bap him on the head.
You just can't up the power.
Uh,
What is
So it
your
would still be
spellcasting modifier anyway?
on
It's like
Voiga
yeah,
0.
it's wisdom. No, so it's +3 because it's wisdom technically. So you
Mm.
restore 1d8 +3 hit points when you bap him on the head.
Yes, let me roll that. 1d8 plus 3, right?
Yes.
1d8 plus 3.
Whoa! Max roll.
All right then.
The white part of the staff sparkles magically.
Well, whoa, I'm feeling better. What?
Your teeth are extra sparkly now.
Ooh. Was that the staff you got from the Asian guys?
It comes with a dental plan, it seems.
Oh wow, my teeth feel better. I'm now busy poking at my teeth.
They
Hey,
feel
well,
sharper.
This is
I
silly, but it's nice.
nice. I lost that one a while back.
So that's one charge down?
Yep.
Or is it more than?
Just one, because you only bapped him once.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
Hmm. Okay, I'll keep one box of perfume candles. And yeah, let's turn the rest into cash.
Cold hard cash. Okay. You're directly converted into cold hard money points.
Hmm.
Well, I'm also injured, so I suppose I can use the same thing on myself. Like so.
You can use it on yourself, yes.
Okay, I just kind of bat myself on the head with it.
Whoop. Roll your healing check.
Yes. I wonder if this works. Yes, I can just press up and I'm gonna roll the same thing again.
8 points, which puts you back at max health.
At max health. Does it overflow into the temporary?
No, it's just a heal.
Okay. Well, that was weird. We fought a bunch of garden gnomes that tried to kill us.
Garden gnomes with a creamy center.
Yes,
Yeah,
and we've collected some of it somehow.
Well, these gnomes might have been people at some point, but yeah.
Well, what is your next move?
How uh, how much do we get money wise from that? Did we just turn all of those into money except the healing potions and one box of perfume candles?
So let me do the math real fast. So that's 15 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25. 290.
All right,
Thank you, calculator program.
290 plus the copper pieces, silver pieces, and gold.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
145 each, I guess. Also, Safi, while we're at it, there are different things in the stat list in the character sheet that I still don't quite understand. I know what GP is, but I'm not entirely sure what EP.
It's
SP,
electrum pieces.
CP.
They're worth half a gold piece, I think.
Oh, so it's different denominations of coin, basically.
Yes.
Okay, what is PP? I mean, duh, but within the context of the sheet.
What? What do you say? In the context of the sheet, well, you can just write it down however you want. You can just convert everything to gold pieces.
What's the PB?
PP is platinum pieces, which are worth 10 gold pieces each.
Okay, fair enough.
Although all
So
things
gold...
considered, I'm probably gonna go that a gold piece that a PP is 1,000 because that way you can carry a large amount of money very easily, or 100 or something.
Okay, so but we do need to find somebody who can actually convert it into that because I don't suppose any just backwater village will be able to
Most,
convert
if
into
you're near a
platinum.
goblin caravan, they can usually change you a couple of platinum pieces.
Oh
That's
yeah,
fair
I
enough.
had Como 170 gold pieces.
Ooh.
Wait, 170?
Yeah, there was the converted amount and then there was a 50.
Okay. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
That's a lot of
So
money.
170.
Yep.
So that becomes 240.
And don't
Okay.
don't worry about the water stuff.
They just somehow magically get converted into gold. Huh.
It's like adding it to your junk pile, going to a vendor and going, sell junk.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
It's like, I don't give a damn, is the point. It's
Yeah,
bookkeeping that doesn't help anyone.
we technically are carrying a sack full of stuff until we reach a settlement.
Yep. So, you've cleared the area. There doesn't seem to be anything else nearby, so...
Yep. Oh yeah, and once we reach New Brick, we can inform, find a smithy or something there and inform them of the plate of steel and get some extra cash.
Maybe they'll offer you another masterwork weapon. Who knows?
Ooh. More swords for the sword part.
So you take a rest. You take your time because it's getting late in the day and you need your rest.
Yeah. And while we are resting, I'm examining my slippers.
Ah, yes. You examine the slippers, letting strange energies flow through your head. These are slippers of spider climb. While you wear them, you can walk on any surface.
Nice.
Now there's a pair of slippers you want to walk home in.
Wait, what? Is it gonna ignore like the laws of physics and such?
No, you have to have a surface to walk on. It, like I said, it's like gluey, and when you have them, you can sort of... Like, your hands get the same kind of gluey stuff, so you can basically climb as if you're a spider.
I know, but you can basically just walk on the wall as in you were walking on a flat surface.
If you're strong enough to keep your back straight, sure.
There, that's what I've been asking, yes.
It doesn't give you magical back strength.
Back strength. Yes. Any surface, including, I assume, the surface of the water,
Mm-hmm.
and its infinite use.
No, not the surface of the water.
But it's still a surface.
And you must attune to it, I think. Let me actually look up what the spider climb slipper specifically
I
says.
like that you actually have to attune for stuff. This is neat.
It's a way to stop people from having too many magic items at once. By saying, oh, well,
Or at least
some items
using
you have to attune for, some you do not. Okay, here we go. Slippers of spider climbing. Oh, they're cute. I'm gonna post this picture because these are cute slippers. I want you to look at these slippers and tell me these are not cute.
Show me. Wow.
You can walk on verticals and upside down on the ceilings. While oh, okay, your hands are free. Climbing
If you
speed equal
start
to your walking speed.
if you start walking on these on the wall, you'll probably just fall out of them
They're magic
because
slippers.
they don't support the ankle. But if you walk up a wall backwards,
I like how you're thinking this through.
well, yes. Is that bad?
No, I like
Oh,
it.
there you go.
Yeah, they would need a like a ankle strap on them.
Meanwhile, while you're doing this, Boyg is just gesticulating around, gesturing and such, arguing with herself or himself. I don't know, whichever way you want to call him.
Okay. I'm looking at busy with my slippers and Boyka is doing Boyka business.
Hee. But eventually you make your way home. It's like the long rest, and you get your rest, and then you go on and on. The city of Newbrick looks a lot more lively now that the river is completely cleared up and everyone has had a little bit of time to get used to it again. Because a bunch of people were like suffering from some dehydration symptoms and such.
Okay. Yeah. Can we find a blacksmith?
Of
Maybe.
course, you're in an orc settlement. Of course, there's a blacksmith to be found.
Everyone is a blacksmith in an orc settlement, probably. At
No.
least all of them have a qualifications for
You
it.
see a blacksmith standing next to like a large forge with a tent next to it. He looks like the blacksmith that takes care of the fancy pants weapons around here.
All right.
How can I help you?
Uh, hmm. Okay. How interested would you be in some high-grade steel?
Well, high-grade steel would always be helpful.
Because we have a source of it that we ourselves cannot really utilize or even transport.
He gives you a weird look and goes, "Go on."
Um, how much steel actually is there since it's a 50-foot blade? And did we get any kind of idea how thick it might be?
It was thick enough that the pythons you slammed into the grounds didn't reach the end of it, so I don't know how much steel that would be. I don't know the calculations, but it's a lot, is the point.
Okay,
You could probably make several plate mills out of it with ease.
I give him the rough specifications, like 50 feet wide.
At least a foot deep or so.
Yeah, that amount of high
If we can
quality
extract
steel.
that kind of steel, we could make a whole building out of it. He looks at his,
Yeah.
he rubs his chin and goes, "You know, I need to discuss this with the matron.
Yeah,
Can I get you anything
only-
else in the meantime?"
Uh, well, I don't. Hmm.
He starts to walk
actually-
off and he leaves you with his apprentice.
Can I do some like what's it called? Money exchange. Money exchanging with the apprentice.
Yes.
Like I have 1,500 copper pieces.
Oh, he has gold to exchange for that. Yes, that's 15 gold. So.
Alright, 15 gold more.
All your money turns into bigger denominations. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. It's magic.
Wow. Yeah, that was weighing me down. Something fierce.
Oh, what a weight. Off your shoulders, in your pockets.
Mm-hmm. And how many gold pieces is 500 silver pieces?
It's another 1 to 10 ratio. So 50.
Nice. 200.
Okay, so assuming all of the metal is usable, I've done the math,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a plate of steel 50 feet in diameter,
Hmm. And 5 foot deep.
and
And at least a foot deep.
a foot dip would be 480 metric tons of steel.
That's going to take forever to extract. How much was it again? How much? 40 tons or something?
It's 961,214 pounds of steel, or 480 metric tons. At the very least, that's what the math of this thing tells me. So
Point is, it's a lot of plate mill.
yes, it's a whole army. If you
Yeah,
Which is probably why I needed to talk to the matron about this.
yes.
You eventually are like, you say what?
There's 480 metric tons of steel, and we know the location. Although you can probably just scour the marshes. I mean, it will be worth it.
Oh,
Well, the guy eventually returns and says that for your services, like, what do you want? Like, this is an extreme... Like, again, nearly impossible to properly extract. Like, they're going to lose a lot to slag. But he's
Yes.
like, you can get something good for this. Like, what do you want?
what do I want?
Because this is a whole building worth of steel. Or more.
Can I get a statue of myself?
Yes.
Build
Statue
it
of a cat.
just somewhere not nice in here in the city.
Sure. What is your name?
There's Shady Gardens is my full
Shady
name.
Steel Singer Gardens.
All right, that has a nice ring to it. Give
Well,
it a nice boy, nice posture as well. Fighting
certainly.
with a sword in hand, pointing up.
Your friend too? Or...
Uh, sure. I guess he can be there somewhere.
Ah,
If at all possible, the mage will probably poke out and let's say this, post it, or something along these lines.
in other words, that's awesome. That's great. Uh, oh, that's incredible. But um, there is some like he does want to give you something like something material. Like a statue is nice and all, but you deserve something material.
Uh, no.
Be it
Sure,
be
yeah.
it a service or something like something they can do for you.
Uh, what do I want? Are there like masterwork or magical armor that might give me in the medium armor range?
Well, what kind of armor are you specifically looking for? Like you can see from the glint of his eyes that he's looking forward to this one.
Hmm. Well, actually, a half plate armor will work nicely with me.
Not too worried about the stealth disadvantage?
Oh, what kind of disadvantage? Just
Oh no, you literally just roll with disadvantage. You'd roll twice, take the lower. In that case, a
oh.
breastplate would not have the same penalty, but
Hmm. Yeah, a breastplate, but also nice.
well.
And just
So he reaches behind himself. He walks into the back of the store and he comes back with a very dusty-looking breastplate. And it doesn't look like much, but he puts it down and he coughs. So, this. An old family piece. Well,
oh,
supposedly belonged to a raging war chief. And he takes out a hammer. He knocks on the thing a few times and then goes BAM! And the steel seems completely unaffected by it.
oh, oh, that's fancy.
The way this
Shady's easily
works.
impressed.
The way it works. The way this works, as he says, is every day, the first type of damage to hit it, it becomes resistant to it, taking half damage from in the future, and to that one attack.
Oh, all right, that's that's quite nice, quite nice.
Otherwise, it functions as a
That's
regular half breastplate.
so the very first type of damage that it takes.
Yes.
So assuming we get the drop on the enemies and can discern their weapons, I can just kind of hit him and
Mhm.
give him a resistance to it. Wow, that is awesome.
Since it's a breastplate, you get 14 plus your dex modifier max 2, so you get up to 16 AC.
Yep. Gradually improving my armor class, and I hand him my chainmail.
He accepts it gracefully. He'll probably incorporate the breastplate because it looks better in a statue.
Yes. Mm. So what are the like stats for the breastplate?
Breastplate is 14 plus dex modifier, maximum of 2 for a dex modifier, and it weighs 20 pounds.
And the special ability?
The special ability is that on the first hit of the day, you get resistance to that damage type for the rest of the day,
Okay.
which halves damage, basically.
Hmm.
So if a dragon decides to breathe fire on you, guess who's not going to be worried about fire for long?
For that day, at least.
Yeah. But every day you can pick a new one, basically.
Yeah.
Or over the long rest, I guess is a better way to put it.
I mean, if you need resistance against acid, I can just kind of spit on it and kind of rub it in.
To put a little on your hands, rub it on both hands, and just kind of rub it on, like you're trying to polish it.
Yes, with acid.
I love that picture of the guy posing.
You mean the portrait thing from the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Somebody actually drew it, but I can't seem to find
Oh
it.
no, someone actually drew it. Okay, Combo, do you want anything from the shop?
Oh, does it have a name? Breastplate?
Well, it belonged to a warlord, so they've just called it the breastplate of the warlord. But you can give it a name of your own if you want.
Okay. Hmm.
As for Boyga, she would probably request the a pair of matching curved swords.
Of matching what swords?
Curved swords.
Are we talking about a mechanical change to your weaponry or what?
Not a mechanical, just curved swords. Just
Okay.
single-handed swords that are curved.
He exchanges your weapons because no deal to him. Although your weapons now do slashing damage since they are curved, and curved weapons aren't good for stabbing.
Yes.
However, he stops.
Yes.
If you're willing to shoot him a little bit of extra cash, you can make a masterwork.
I'm pretty sure that 400 metric tons of metal will pay for it, but yes, sure. How much does it
Well,
need?
Shady kind of claimed the credit on that one.
Okay, fair enough.
You can roll me. You can roll me. I don't know what you would roll for that. Probably deception to try and get on his side, sort of like a charisma check.
Like haggle thing?
Yeah, like you're trying to
could just
convince him
straight up
that it's
roll
also your
charisma.
deal, so he'll chip the price.
Okay, so just roll charisma or what? Or deception?
Roll charisma because you don't have any of the checks anyway.
Okay.
Oh, you convince him. He's like, give me 100 gold and I'll give you 2 masterwork short swords.
Yes, please. There you go.
You now get a +1 modifier to all your attacks with short swords. Well, actually, they're not short swords; they're curved swords, and they deal slashing now.
Yeah, sure. Make him whatever, Kopesh or scimitars or whatever is appropriate.
If this is done correctly, let me actually just set this up properly so they actually work the way they should.
Please do.
Dex 1d6 plus Dex.
Were the short swords the strength modifier, by the way?
No, they still use Dex. They're still finesse weapons.
But
They even
still
have like
use
special guards, so you can sort of twirl them on your finger.
Nice. That's a good way to break a finger, but sure.
Well, the twirling is mostly just to show off.
Well, yes, I know.
Still, though,
I
it's like
know.
several pounds of steel, so.
Yes.
You got some sweet blades. But I say that we've done a lot today. We can call it here if you want.
That's fine. That's cool.
You also get a level up because you've done a lot. You've encountered a lot. You've seen a lot. You've done a lot. I say why not? But you're now at the level up part where things get weird.
Because it's level 3, it's the interesting level.
It's the level where all the shit actually happens, where you actually become an assassin, where you actually become a person who can wield a sword like a man. Before then, you were a fighting man. Now you are a fighter.
Yep, I get my back boon. Back boon.
Oh, what's your pack boon?
Back of the blade.
Let me pull up the PDF again.
You can use your action to create a back weapon in your empty hand. You can choose the form that this melee weapon takes each time you play. Counts as magical for the purpose of becoming resistant immediately no magical attacks and damage.
Oh, damn it.
You can transform one magic weapon into your back weapon by performing a special ritual while you hold the weapon. Can I turn my masterwork longsword into my back weapon?
Sure.
Like So I like infuse it with my patron's magic, and it disappears until I fall it back into my hand.
Oh, the orc would probably be like, whoa, if you do it in front of him at least.
Hmm.
Okay, Como, you get primeval awareness and spirit path.
Heck.
The longsword is now much more shadowy looking when it comes back.
Oh, it's got flair to it. Let's see, what else do you get? You learn another spell. That's cool. And you can now cast, and you now have second level slots.
Ah, nice. And I have to check the second level spells.
Exciting. How about I end the stream here? Everyone say goodbye.
Sure. Goodbye. Thanks
Bye.
for watching.
Ooh.